Today on ELN Morning.
It's Nadine. Nadine Jose has been elected ELN's newest student body president. Students share their reactions and have questions on her plans.
What's going to be the first thing that you want to do and accomplish?
I've never participated or voted in an SGA election.
The president-elect joins us live in studio ahead.
Plus, the last dance. Seniors in the dance program are taking their final bow this weekend. Today, March 31st, 2022.
This is ELN Morning. Well, good Thursday morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Baylor Rodman.
And I'm Ellis Chandler, and today for Ashlyn Deloe, you're watching ELN Morning. The SGA student body president for the next academic year has been elected.
That's right. Nadine Jose received 55% of the students' vote. She's from Freehold, New Jersey, sounds familiar, and is a rising senior majoring in cinema and television arts.
The president-elect joins us now.
Nadine, good morning to you. Freehold, New Jersey in the house today.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to start by saying, obviously, I have been a senator on SGA for the past 3 years. We worked together a little bit, so obviously I have some insight on some of the things we're going to discuss today. But I want to kind of just start with the obvious. So congratulations, first of all, on your victory. We're happy to have you here this morning. But I have to ask, less than a third of the campus voted in this year's election. So respectfully, why should students care that you're the next president-elect?
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it before to ELN, but I think a huge reason is just that I'm breaking a pattern that has been happening for 4 years in which a predominantly female campus has had 4 concurrent male leaders. Not to say that they've done a bad job by any means, but I think a shift does mean something. I think when you see someone who you identify with a little bit more interpersonally, it can make a huge difference in how you perceive SGA and hopefully how you interact with SGA. I'm involved in a lot of groups from the Center of Race, Ethnicity, and Diversity Education, Residence Life. I work with a lot of different communities all the time, and hopefully like those groups that typically feel underserved feel like in this election at least that they could participate a little bit more and hopefully understand what SGA has to do for them and can do for them a little bit more as well.
Sure.
And this is the first time the undergraduate student body has elected a female SGA president in the last kind of 4 years or so. How does it feel to kind of be that representative?
It feels really good. It feels really relieving to know that the student body trusts me and that they believe I could do a good job for them, hopefully regardless of my gender, but also because my gender is strengthening it. Like I said before, it is a predominantly female campus, and you want to be able to know that there's a leader there who is constantly advocating for you and aligns with you.
Yeah, so we have a student soundbite. Somebody's asking a question about club sports, so let's take a listen to that.
Yeah.
Will funding stay the same for club sports, and also with COVID in club sports, how's that going to change with the new non-mask policy? Do we still have to get COVID tested and all these restrictions?
Anything you can share on that to answer some student questions?
Personally, I would have to talk with obviously like Team P and like Healthy Elon and all of those people in order to not spread misinformation and know that I'm giving them like adequate information. I've talked with a couple people from like Club Lacrosse before, and like I've heard some of their concerns, and all of them are completely valid, and hopefully I could just work with people who may not typically be in SGA otherwise and help them in those endeavors, yeah.
Sure.
And in our last conversation, you mentioned kind of wanting to improve the student experience, which includes things like free laundry costs.
Yeah.
How do you plan to do that, especially when tuition and fees are seeing a 9% increase next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think laundry costs is already free for some people on campus. It's really just the luck of the draw. I lived in Danley my freshman year, and I was able to share one laundry unit for free, use it all the time, and only between 8 people. And then if you get placed in historic, I'm an RA in historic currently, I still have to pay for my laundry, even though I work for the university. And I think it's just such a small thing that heightens socioeconomic discrepancy on this campus. And I think it's not that much. I feel like that it's costing the university. I'm not really sure where those dollars go to besides like the maintenance of the laundry machines, in which that should already be, there should already be a budget in there for that. So I would have to work with obviously Janet Williams, John Dooley about those things, and just hopefully show them how much of a problem it is and how, while it may seem small, it can be significant to the student experience.
So I'll tell you, I'll be honest, we were asking a bunch of student questions that they wanted to ask you, and a lot of them didn't necessarily want to come on camera because they said, we don't really totally know what SGA does.
Yeah.
And I know that this is a visibility issue that, has been for numerous years. How are you going to fix that?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this for a really long time in SGA, and I don't know if we've pushed hard enough on just getting into ELN 101 classes and global experience classes and heightening our visibility, especially during orientation. I think it really starts off at the beginning of the freshman experience, because once there, you will hopefully keep up with it or at least have that base knowledge. I also think just making sure that my office hours are more visible, having one-on-one meetings, trying to be more present around campus. Like I said before, I'm already involved in so many different groups that I think that is an extension of hopefully how I could represent SGA and what SGA does. I think it's really hard. A lot of it does have to be like a social media push, talking with like deans or even like people who could send out mass emails, which is hard because not everyone reads the mass emails. So I just would hope that the representatives in SGA work really hard and push really hard to tell anyone they know what we can do for them.
All right.
All right. Nadine, Jose, live with us in studio this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you take over 1 week from today, correct?
Yes, Lambert Awards are next week, and that is when I get sworn in.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being here. All right, still ahead, the ELN football is back on the field, getting ready for the fall. Their goals for the new season ahead.
What do we do? You may not be able to plan ahead for a ghost encounter.
Under the dining table now!
But you can plan ahead for natural disasters. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts.
Maybe it's the apocalypse.
Know your evacuation routes and decide on a safe emergency meeting location.
Here? I know. I want to pick to Orlando.
Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. So pass the Proton Pack to the next generation and visit ready.gov/plan to get started.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
It's day 37 of Russia's war on Ukraine, and President Biden agrees to send $500 million in new efforts to aid Ukraine, while the Pentagon this morning plans to provide over 100 killer drones. This as Ukrainian President Zelensky calls for tighter sanctions from countries around the world after Russian forces ambushed areas around the capital city, Kyiv, just hours after pledging they would scale back troops to increase, quote, mutual trust and create conditions for further negotiations.
There are also cultural consequences of this war. ELN senior Katie Jo Folks is a Lumen scholar studying how ballet was used as a propaganda tool during the Soviet Union. As Russia continues its war on Ukraine, she says she's now noticing similarities in her research.
It's terrifying that a lot of this that I've been studying for 3 years is happening and I'm watching it play out. It's very scary, but it's also really important because I think now is the time that people need to realize how important art is and how art influences what you think and what people want you to see.
Folks' research is coming together this weekend in a dance performance called The Politics of Dancing, a study of ballet as a political tool, tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. and Saturday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. in Arts West. Audience members will be asked to complete a survey once they've seen the show to help Folks with her research.
And Folks is the director and choreographer of that show, and she's also performing in the dance program's senior seminar concert this weekend. Senior dance and choreography majors developed the show from scratch and chose the theme Home. The performance marks the first time in 2 years where COVID-19 isn't stealing the spotlight. ELN senior Lauren Weinberg says she's looking forward to focusing on nothing but dancing.
It just kind of makes it more like heartwarming that I get to see my friends' faces, or like I can look in the audience and my family's going to be there and I can like see their face as I'm performing, which will be really exciting.
And my regular co-anchor, a fan favorite, Ashlyn Deloe, is in this performance this weekend, so you can see her and the rest of the dancers tomorrow at Saturday at 6:30 p.m. in Arts West. Tickets are free for all.
80-year-old Holocaust survivor Nathan Spivak is one of the last of his generation, and over 150 people gathered in McKinnon Hall to hear his story. Though Spivak himself was never in a concentration camp, he was an escapee of the infamous Velodrome d'Hiver, the largest roundup of French Jews during the Holocaust. He recalled one night that he spent in prison as a young boy.
He intentionally told some of the prisoners in Italian, give him a rough time. And they did. I spent the night without sleep. They never touched me, but they did scare me.
Minkowitz says he was humbled that Elon Chabad was able to organize the event. For more on Spivak's story, visit elonnewsnetwork.com.
All right, 10 minutes after the hour now, and there's a possible warning of severe weather this afternoon and evening.
Very windy walk over here today, but telling us more about what's going on outside right now is our Anne-Marie Bonner.
Anne-Marie, good morning to you. We're warned of strong winds and possible tornado watches. What can you tell us?
Yeah, sure. It is looking like there are 15-mile-per-hour winds out here right now, and the winds could reach up to 50 miles per hour according to the National Weather Service in Raleigh. So please be careful as you're walking around, you're driving wherever you need to go. It is quite windy out here. The wind is picking up, and there are going to be some storms throughout the day. So just please make sure you're careful and aware of that. And let's take a look at the rest of the week to see if the rain is going to stay or hold off. Looking into tomorrow, it is going to be sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 35. A nice sunny spring day that we all desire after a cold week. And then headed into the weekend, some more sun, some clouds, and then showers will come in around Tuesday with a 50% chance of rain. And that is your April showers to start off the month. That's it for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Please stay safe out there. Back to you in the studio.
We'll be staying dry today, that's for sure. Anne-Marie Bonner live on Citroen Plaza this morning. Thank you so much.
April showers bring May flowers. All right, still ahead, ELN makes its first in-person return for the first time in 2 years this weekend when ELN Morning returns in 60 seconds.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker. New from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
ELN football is about to head into their final week of spring practice after starting earlier this month. Head coach Tony Trisciani says the team has been playing fast and physical.
Everybody came out here wanting to get better. Got off to a fast start. It was cold, some playoff weather here today, but our guys came out with a lot of energy right from the get-go.
Junior Jabril Williams says that heading into next season, he can be a leader for his younger teammates.
It feels good, it always feels good to, just be able to contribute to the team any way you can, even if that is playing or just you being on the sideline cheering on your teammates, just anything you can do to contribute to the team and get some wins,
Trisciani says the team is focusing on critical plays like 2-minute drills and overtime situations this week.
Back in Alumni Gym for the first time in 2 years, ELN Dance Marathon is set to be fully in person, and it's only 2 days away. Vice President of Operations Sky Allison says she's excited to have the event back in person because it's an effect on all who participate, and we're looking forward to that this weekend. Ellis, you going to be heading out?
I may have to check. I've never been to ELN-thon before, and I'm already a junior, so It's exciting that that's making its in-person return this weekend.
Yeah, it all begins at 9 a.m. Saturday, but if you want to register day of, you can do so until 4 p.m. by visiting their website. Well, that's all the news we have for you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
For all the news you need to know when we're not on the air, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And follow us on social media at ELN News Network.
Have a great weekend, ELN. Stay dry.